Munchkin Reaction Theatre. Sing. You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Illumination has this way of making beautifully animated movies, but recycle old ideas or blatantly steal them, taking whatever's popular at the time and combining the two in a comedic stew. With Despicable Me, it was the formula of classic villain meets dysfunctional father, and with Secret Life of Pets, it was a straight-up rip-off of Toy Story. And I think IHE put it best. It was basically Toy Story meets every single funny pet video on YouTube. Personally, I liked Despicable Me, but that was because I adore villains, so having a movie set entirely around villains really appealed to me. But then again, the franchise was ruined with the Minions, who are, and I'm not sorry for saying this over and over, they are freakishly annoying! Secret Life of Pets had so much potential to be a simple slice of life film, as seen from the eyes of our pets, but instead we get a Pixar movie rip-off that just tried too hard to be epic and big when it really didn't need to be, trying to represent as many different types of animal lovers as possible in one movie. With Sing, to me, it was combining funny animal videos with reality TV and, of course, talent contests. More specifically, a singing competition. Okay, before I get into this movie properly, and strangely enough, I have a lot to say about it, even though this is a reaction theatre episode. I'm not limiting the time anymore with these things. Reaction theatre episodes are spoiler free, but really, if you've seen an entire season of a show similar to X Factor, you've seen this movie. It pretends to be reality TV, but it's really rigged and staged up soap stories. I can't stand these reality TV contest shows, not because it is obvious that they are rigged, but because they always seem to focus on one genre of music. Do you remember a rock band ever winning X Factor? No, me neither. And no, manufactured boy bands do not count. All it ever seems to be is more pop music. Nothing wrong with pop music, by the way, it's just not my thing. I'm not a singer, or at least not anymore, but I do know enough about it to know that singing should be more than just a performance on stage. Singing can be a formal or informal thing, arranged or improvised. It can be just a hobby, or a source of pleasure, or comfort, or ritual, or as part of music education, or as a profession. Or more primarily, it should be done as a form of spiritual or religious devotion. Whether you believe in that stuff or not, any form of creativity should be seen as a form of expression or worship of something far deeper than just a performance to show off. Why do I bring this up? Because the genre of music that is slandered and almost removed entirely in this movie is punk rock. This movie forced a punk rock singer to sing a pop song because everyone loves a pop princess apparently. No movie, they do not. Sing was released the same year as Disney's Zootopia, or as it's known in the UK, Zootropolis, and although the story, premise and character designs are different, I have to make a comparison here. Anthropomorphic animals have to have a reason to be in a movie. Zootropolis centers its plot around the fact that all the characters are animals and deals with prejudice between the races, or more specifically, between carnivores and herbivores. In Sing, there is no reason for these characters to be animals. In fact, there's no reason for this movie to even be animated because we've seen this exact same kind of story before. You know what, actually, I'm going to correct myself here because actually there is another animated movie that centers around singing anthropomorphic animals, and that is, of course, Cats Don't Dance, released in 1997 by 20th Century Fox. There are so many similarities between these two movies that it can't be coincidence. Just as an example, Cats Don't Dance has a scene where the entire movie set is flooded, and Sing has a scene when the entire theatre is flooded. Coincidence? Yeah, I'm not so sure. What Cats Don't Dance has that Sing doesn't is a strong, intimidating villain. Now, although it is never explained why they were anthropomorphic animals living alongside humans in the film Cats Don't Dance, the plot itself centers around the fact that animals are never given the jobs or roles that humans are, and only get the roles or jobs that are centered to their species. You know, it deals with segregation and racism, or speciesism, I don't know. Not just within the entertainment industry, but in general. It deals with themes that are far bigger than the movie is, without making the movie too big and epic, and therefore, the movie works on a deeper level. And just by the way, we will be reviewing Cats Don't Dance eventually. With Sing, there is no given reason for these characters to be animals at all. Animated movies have featured talking animals in them since the 1930s, and not always with explanation, but there is always some kind of symbolic meaning behind why they are what they are, or at least some kind of visual gag anyway. Zootropolis' story was set in a world that was designed to look like animals had built it. The world in Sing looks no different than ours. It's a cheap cash-in, and I wouldn't be surprised if they reused assets from Despicable Me. I can't remember any scene in Sing that stood out for me. I can't remember the characters' names either. There's no real main character, no one character carries this movie. It's a whole group of characters, and not one of them stands out. It's undemanding and familiar. I don't know if you like anthropomorphic animals, but just give this a watch anyway. But with the amount of times that these coincidences happen, Ants and Bugs Life, Madagascar and the Wild. Seriously, no one remembers the Wild. And now Zootopia and Sing. It's just frustrating to see the animation industry still being held back by drivel like this. And you know what's worse? People lap this stuff up. Because who cares, right? It's just an animated movie for children. Who cares if it's recycling old ideas, appealing to as many different demographics as possible instead of focusing on just one, while not fleshing out any of the characters or giving any time for us to get invested so we actually care about them. For a movie called Sing, you would think that the movie would at least try to have original songs in it, and I know there is one, but it's pretty bland. Most of the songs in it are popular, well-known songs, and that's great, but as a punk rock chick myself, seeing the character that is meant to represent punk rock and alternative music being forced to sing a pop song, that was heartbreaking. Or at least it would have been heartbreaking if I actually remembered the character's name. You know what Illumination are turning into? The Michael Bay of animation companies. Except instead of taking 80s cartoons and making them live action and filling the 3-hour-long movies with explosions and so-called sexy girls, Illumination takes whatever is popular at the time and makes a movie about it. Oh, wait, sorry, that's what Sony Pictures is doing. Oh, I can't wait to dig my teeth into the Emoji Movie. Yeah, find a formula that works, sure, but you know why Pixar and DreamWorks films are so successful? Because they didn't find a formula, they made their own formula. And they stuck with it. To companies like that, it's not just about getting up on a stage and performing. It's about connecting with the audience in a powerful, subconscious, or even spiritual way that will impact their lives for the better. Movies like Sing makes no impact. To me, it's just a noisy gong. I'm Mad Munchkin. Stay creative.